Some interesting developments going on downtown in all kinds of different ways. I think the most interesting, I guess, is these descendants of the founders of Memphis arguing that the Brooks Art Museum that's under construction right now, right on the riverfront on Front Street. You see the video from the groundbreaking there a few months earlier, and this is the scene now. I mean, they're on their way to building this, I believe, $150 million new museum right on the riverfront there, and now a judge says we got to put that construction on hold. Catherine, what do you make of this?
Yeah, for one thing, it definitely plays into this whole narrative that anything that happens on the riverfront has to be controversial, which we've seen with Tom Lee Park and Memphis and May.
That's kind of true.
I will say, while I'm certainly no attorney and I am no judge, I am very intrigued by this argument that this land was left to the people of Memphis, not the city, because the city is representative of the people. So it's just this kind of interesting argument about who gets to decide what happens with this piece of land.
And what do they want there? A public promenade?
A promenade.
What does that mean?
A place where you can walk is my understanding.
All right. Tawana, what do you make of it?
First of all, I just hate to see the mayor, who's done some significant work downtown. He is just marred on every hand. You see something good, and then this comes along. If it's the people elected representatives, take it to the council. Let the council make a decision and let that stay.
Mm-hmm. Interesting idea. It's a shame it has to come to that, but it might, Otis.
Yeah, it very well might. You know, when I heard about this, that song kept popping in my head. This land is my land. This land is your land. This land does not belong to you and me.
It belongs to people.
Which people?
Right. I mean, I guess I don't understand. You know, we've been talking about the Brooks Museum down there for more than a year or two. And why is this just not coming up as we have already gotten rid of the fire station, we got rid of the parking garage, we're ready to go, and now this pops up.
Mm-hmm. I just don't understand. Take it to the council, let the council, and take that piece of paper from the council to the court.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
In the short time we have left, I also want to talk about Tom Lee Park, which you mentioned has also faced its share of controversy. It made its grand opening, reopening, I guess you would call it, after a $60 million redo. It really is a class job they did down there. It's much more to do and see down there as you look at some of the video from it here. Of course, Memphis and May wasn't very happy with the redo because it just limited, you know, just the land that they could have musicians perform or barbecue stands be built or erected during the barbecue fest. And they're also struggling with making a $1.4 million payment for all the damage that was done to the park this last time around, and wondering, can they even afford to stay at Tom Lee Park given that expense? So how do you see that shaking out? Otis, we'll go to you on this one.
Well, I just think that you just showed the pictures. I think it's fabulous down there now. And it does spruce up the park in ways that I had never even imagined that it could happen that way. And I think that is for the public good. We can deal with Memphis and May in other ways. If they have to move from down there, then move from down there. But that's 1 month out of the year where we're talking about people enjoying all of these new things down there for 12 months out of the year. I'm all in favor of what was done.
You also had the Greater Memphis Chamber getting involved with the Memphis and May International Festival. They kind of want to put the international back in there by being the group that will select who is the honored country every year, which is a rich tradition with Memphis and May. And about a week after announcing, hey, it's going to be our job from now on, they announced, hey, it's going to be France. Bonjour. So do you think that's a good move? The chamber argues, Tawan, that they can do a better job, I guess, of establishing economic ties with the various countries that are chosen and more cultural ties and make it really a whole year-long thing, not just May.
I find no fault in their involvement. I think that's good, and it strengthens Memphis and May.
Yeah.
And it's apparent that with that leftover bill, they need some support and help. So I don't find any fault with that. And it also gives our chamber an opportunity to really boost Memphis, so you can sell Memphis as not only as a tourist destination, but as a place for business, as a place for new families. And we've got to grow Memphis.
Yeah. I think that's probably the most under-talked about issue in this mayoral campaign is how are we going to reverse this population shift?
Exactly.
That just in the last estimated census of 2021 to 2022 is scary how fast the numbers are dropping. Right. But we're out of time. We'll have to talk about that hopefully in one of the weeks ahead here. But I want to thank my panel for being here and talking about all these different topics. We got it all in. It was good. And thank you at home for being here. We'll see you next week for ABC24 This Week.